Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to KEPR QUIK, your latest local news and weather, commercial free in about 20 minutes or less. It's a bit of a longer one today. We have quite a bit of fires sparking in our area. This wind really driving them.
Yeah, that's right. We did see some of those fires start yesterday evening, and those have just continued through this morning. Wind is driving the fires. Here's a look at some of the top wind gusts from yesterday. In the Tri-Cities, we did see a wind gust near 30 miles per hour yesterday. In Yakima, a gust near 30 miles per hour as well. In Walla Walla, we did record a gust yesterday over 30 miles per hour. And in Ellensburg, we recorded a gust of near 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. And as we take a look at our weather headlines today, unfortunately, wind is going to stay blustery today, continuing to add to that heightened fire danger. This is going to be the third day in a row of blustery wind. Now, the good news is temperatures are cooling, and then Father's Day weekend in general is just trending pretty pleasant. So let's end things maybe on a little more of a positive note, but we will certainly focus more on that fire danger coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Jefferson. Right over into our fire season coverage. 3 fires broke out in the Tri-Cities overnight. One just before 4:35 this morning. Kennewick police saying officials were called to the scene of a structure fire in the 1000 block of North Cleveland Street. We're told all occupants were evacuated in time, but some people rushed to get out as fire crews were arriving. Crews asked that you avoid the area while they work to put out the blaze. Firefighters are currently on the scene of a haystack fire that broke out near Glade North Road in Pasco. Although it seems the fire has calmed down, officials say crews will remain on scene to monitor that blaze. And according to Benton County Fire District 1, another fire broke out just before 1:50 this morning in the area just south of Game Farm Road near Findlay. The blaze has burned 15 acres as well as threatened and damaged many structures and outbuildings, some a total loss. We're told the fire is wind-driven like the other wildland fires currently ongoing, but there's no immediate threat to the public. We are working to bring you more information on all of those fires. We'll update you as soon as we learn more. Firefighters also continue to battle a blaze that ignited last night in West Richland. Check out these photos sent to us of the fire near North Lake and Clark Court, which firefighters say was threatening several homes and at one point prompting level 2 and 3 evacuations.
The wind rapidly took this fire, spread it out quite a ways. It crossed the canal, the irrigation canal, and so units had to drive around to get to that side. So we've got fire on both sides of that area now.
It's currently unknown the exact size of the fire or if any homes were directly affected, although all 3 level 3 evacuations have now been lifted. Level 2 evacuations remain in place. The cause of the fire remains unknown. We'll have further updates on KEPRTV.com. On to evacuation orders that remain in place for portions of Kittitas County due to the Red Bridge fire. The level 3 and 2 evacuation notices have been downgraded. Authorities believe the fire is human-caused because there was no lightning in the area when it started earlier this week. State and local firefighters are working together to try to contain that fire as it continues to burn east of Cle Elum. Dry timber, grass, vegetation, and gusty winds are making that task difficult. The incident commander pointed out that it's unseasonably dry and warm for the month of June. Switching gears this morning, a man is dead after crashing in Moses Lake on Sunday. Washington State Patrol says a 23-year-old Everett man was traveling eastbound on I-90 near milepost 176 when witnesses observed that man hit a pedestrian who was in the roadway. The pedestrian, 56-year-old Randy Ropp, died at the scene. Deputies are still investigating the cause of the crash. It's unknown if alcohol or drugs were involved. Yakima police are trying to track down a woman who's accused of taking a young boy without permission. Take a look at this picture. It's of 6-year-old Kleiber Rondon Rodriguez. He's 3 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 52 pounds. Police believe the lady on the right, Maribel Rodriguez Perez, and Kleiber got on a bus heading to Los Angeles. She's 25 years old, 5 feet 3 inches tall, and weighs about 180 pounds. She does not have permission to leave the state with Kleiber. If you have information or see them, contact 911. 3 people are now being held in the Benton County Jail after a SWAT standoff in Kennewick yesterday afternoon. And that was a flashbang you heard from the Tri-Cities regional SWAT team who were called to the scene after a suspect wanted on warrants from the Department of Corrections barricaded himself inside a house.
They continued to barricade and refused to exit the residence. So a couple of NFDDs, noise flash diversionary devices, were deployed to try to elicit a response. After the second one, all 3 subjects came out and were taken into custody.
Now, officers learned there were 2 other people inside the house wanted on unrelated warrants, and as you just heard, all 3 were safely taken into custody without any injuries. Police couldn't tell us, though, what they were wanted for. An investigation is underway in Grant County after a Mattaway area farm worker was found dead in an irrigation canal Tuesday. Grant County Sheriff's deputies say coworkers became concerned at around 2 p.m. when the worker did not return from daily tasks. The man's ATV was found running along an irrigation canal. Divers with Columbia Basin Dive Rescue recovered the man's body. There's no word yet on what may have happened. One of the 2 men who killed Kiona Benton High School teacher Bob Mars back in 2004 is set to have his 30-year sentence reviewed. Robert Suarez was 16 when he and a 14-year-old friend stabbed Mars to death after he offered to let them use a school landline to make a phone call. Not only was Mars a teacher at the school, but he was also a football and wrestling coach who left an impact on his players and students. Because Suarez committed the crime before he turned 18, he's getting the opportunity to have his sentence reviewed. Part of that process involves community input. Anyone who would like to share their thoughts is welcome to submit a statement or letter of concern to the review board. The Toppenish man accused of assaulting a corrections officer in the Yakima County Jail is now set to undergo a mental competency hearing. The man is charged with second-degree assault for the attack. The competency review was ordered after he refused to attend multiple court hearings. During one hearing that he did attend on Zoom, he refused to answer any of the judge's questions. Court records also say he refused to speak to jail staff, court staff, and even his attorney. The competency hearing is set for June 18th. Law enforcement in Chelan County believe they're closing in on the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say they got a tip from a hiking party about a lone hiker in the Enchantments area who they say appeared to be avoiding others and was ill-prepared for trail and weather conditions. Tracking teams responded to the area and spotted an off-trail hiker near Kolchuk Lake who ran from sight when a helicopter passed overhead. More teams responded to the area and were able to pick up a trail and track a subject to the area of Engulfs Creek Trailhead on Highway 97 using police dogs, but so far Decker remains on the run. The public is urged to remain highly vigilant and report any suspicious activity, especially those who live or have cabins near the search area. A national organization is calling for reform of the Amber Alert system. The National Safe Parents Organization is calling out law enforcement and state leaders for a change to both the Amber Alert system and child protections for child custody. Whitney Decker, the mother of the young girls who were murdered, was denied the request of putting out an Amber Alert. An endangered missing person alert was sent out instead. Leaders from the organization believe the Amber Alert could have saved the girls' lives.
Potentially, we could have gotten to the father and the children before this tragedy happened. You know, if every citizen in the area is alerted on their phone with an Amber Alert, then everyone can be looking for that vehicle and that description of those individuals. And that means it's just a time issue.
Pollack says State Representative Alicia Rule is working with them to change the law by proposing a new law called Caden Law. And with that, we're going to switch gears and jump right over to weather. It's been a hot one. It's been a hot few days at Jefferson. It was so hot, students at McLaughlin Middle School in Pasco had the day off yesterday after the building's AC unit failed. Maintenance workers made some fixes, and students are expected to return to school today, but it's just a few more days until the summer. Yeah, you know, the last couple of days have been absolutely sweltering. Today is going to be a smidge cooler, but you're right. The summer break for many area students does start in just a couple of days if it hasn't started already, and the temperatures are certainly feeling summer-like out there. As we take a look at high temperatures expected today, it is not going to be as hot as day priors, but still will be pretty warm out there. Highs will reach the upper 80s to low 90s in the Tri-Cities today, mid to upper 80s for the Yakima Valley, upper 70s to low 80s today in the Kittitas Valley, with daytime highs in the mid 80s for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, as everybody does see mostly sunny skies overhead. Now, I would argue that the biggest component of the weather piece today will not be temperatures, but will be wind, especially with some of those area fires going on. We are expecting winds between 25 and 30 miles per hour, wind gusts, I should say, between 25 and 30 miles per hour today for Walla Walla, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. I will note that for Yakima, the winds are not going to really be arriving until this evening. In Ellensburg today, winds are going to be stronger than the rest of the region, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And then even tomorrow, winds are going to stay pretty breezy around much of the area. And in the Kittitas Valley tomorrow, we still could record gusts as high as 35 miles per hour.
These breezy winds that we are expecting today and tomorrow will just contribute to more days of heightened fire danger. So let's take a look at what you should have in your go bag. Of course, that isn't something that we want to think about, but we have to think about, especially after some of those evacuations that we have seen over the past 24 hours or so. In your go bag, you should have money and credit cards, medical items, food and water, important documents, and personal belongings. Now, if you don't have these necessarily in your go bag, you should really be cognizant of where they are so you can grab these right away if you have to rush out of your house due to a wildfire evacuation. Now, for the next 2 days after today, the weather is going to be pretty nice. On Friday, we will be looking at high temperatures in the low to mid 80s under plenty of sunshine. On Saturday, we will be looking at high temperatures also primarily in the low to mid 80s under plenty of sunshine, but we still have to stay vigilant with that fire safety as we go through Father's Day weekend. For right now, I'm going to throw it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. And it looks like we're expecting quite a bit of sun over the next few days, which will bode well for a first-of-its-kind piece of energy infrastructure now up and running in Pendleton. As KEPR's Alan Lester reports, it marks a major step towards clean energy production in the Beaver State.
With the ceremonial ribbon officially cut, Wednesday marked the culmination of nearly 10 years of planning to bring about the region's first state-of-the-art solar canopy. Located at Pendleton's wastewater treatment plant, the $1.8 million installation can generate enough electricity to reduce utility costs by over 50% for homes and businesses throughout the city.
Every time the power rates go up, my ROI just continues to come down. So the citizens of Pendleton will see that savings even faster. The goal is to basically have no power bill in the end.
But power is only one aspect, as the canopy also functions as a way to improve water sanitization through a multitude of ways.
With water temperatures and chlorine reduction and safety by installing some walkways, it really justifies and values the project fully.
The solar canopy is the second phase of a multi-phase infrastructure project to push towards net zero carbon emissions in the city.
For a rural community, we're very forward-thinking and really focused on renewable energy, and our drive to be sustainable and to provide the highest quality of resources. I think that it's just the jumping off point for our department to be able to continue this work going forward.
While data needs to be collected over the summer to accurately measure the true impact of the canopy, the small amount collected is showing promise for the future.
The less money that we spend on power, the more money that we can spend on maintaining the system. What we're doing here at the plant, we're looking to expand this out into other divisions of public works with the city of Pendleton.
And although the canopy's completion warranted a celebration, it's just the beginning.
This one's done and we're on to the next. Innovation and progress never stop.
Reporting in Pendleton, I'm Alan Lester, KEPR Action News.
Alan Lester, thank you. And as for what's next, city leaders say work is underway to install a battery energy storage system at the wastewater treatment plant, allowing for even more cost saving on utilities throughout the community. The project is expected to be completed by next summer. In about 8 weeks, county employees will be emptying ballot boxes for this year's primary election, and unusually, every voter in Yakima County has a chance to vote. Voters in Granger and Yakima will vote on a council position. Citizens of Mapton will vote for a mayor. School districts of Yakima, Sela, Sunnyside, and Grandview all have a school board director on the ballot, and Fire District 5 will also have a primary election. Additionally, there is one county-wide position on the ballot, the coroner.
So we have a primary election coming August 5th. It's going to be all voters in the entire county, which is unusual. It's been, I think we looked back, I don't think we've had a county-wide primary since 2009 maybe. And ironically, the coroner was also the race on that.
Since former coroner Jim Curtis resigned before candidate filing week, an election for the coroner is able to be held this year instead of next year. Ballots will be mailed out in mid-July. Union Gap Police Chief Gregory Cobb is hanging up his badge, but he's not going anywhere. Chief Cobb has worn the police uniform for 30 years now, but now he's stepping into the city manager's role. There was a celebration yesterday also recognizing current city manager Sharon Bounds, who's retiring at the end of the month. Curtis Santucci is now serving as interim police chief as Cobb helps guide the department through its next phase. A new Benson County fire station is set to open this week. Benson County will be reopening Fire Station 4110. This station was built in 1977, but due to staffing issues and the station shut down in 2020, Thanks to the help of the community with funding and staffing, they were able to reopen the station that will give them quicker access to a section of Van Giesen that no station has been able to access in a normal amount of time. They will be celebrating June 14th with a soft opening as a team. Then they hope to invite the community later in the year to see the new changes. Finally, we head over to Toppenish, a big success for the Bounty of the Valley Scholarship Dinner at Heritage University. The fundraiser this past weekend brought in $1.29 million for students at the university. This is an all-time record and marks the second consecutive year of record-high donations. About $900,000 of the money raised will go towards scholarships this upcoming academic year, while $500,000 will go towards endowment funds. And also at Heritage University, the annual conference for the greater good. This conference for nonprofit organizations included sessions for leaders, while employees of the nonprofits found out how they can improve their craft. It also gave them an opportunity to make connections, to expand their networks. Rick Griffin was the keynote speaker who spoke about cultivating resilience for a collective strength. Participants also learned about data protection using artificial intelligence and fundraising strategies. About 200 people participated at the conference. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of KEPR QUIK. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, KEPR and KIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a wonderful day.